Hey everybody, it's Vanessa, the Crafty Gemini. Welcome to episode number 139. Let's hope that this thing sticks. We were having some technical issues. But if you can see me and hear me, go ahead and let me know in the chat box where you are tuning in from. Yep, I'm getting the notification too that I'm live, so hopefully y'all can see me. Hey everybody, let's check in who is popping into the live chat. We got Kathy in the house. Hi Debbie, tuning in from Ontario, Canada. We got Margie. Hi, Mickey. We got Jamie tuning in from Austin, Texas. Hi, Celia, tuning in from New York. We're good? Yes. Okay. I got Mary in the house from Virginia. Linda tuning in from Alachua. I live in Alachua. Hi, neighbor, wherever you live here. Um, let's see, who else do I have on here? Hi, Brianna, tuning in from Virginia, and hi, Della. Okay, great. Y'all can see me and hear me. Great, great, great. So I am back here for the last WIP Wednesday of this new organizer club. I'm answering last minute questions. We're going to go over the projects one more time. I'm going to share with you some pictures. I think we have one picture of, I think it was Tammy, that already finished 5 of her fabric envelope, the fabric envelope folders, which is a bonus course that you get when you sign up for the organizer club, and it's a class that you get instant access to. If you have not downloaded the calendar for the new organizer club, this is our 2nd edition organizer club, make sure that you download it. You can find it on the course description page, and we have a link that will take you directly to the page where you can read all about the new organizer club, and that way you can see and decide if you want to join us or not. But I'm here for the last call because tonight at midnight Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which is East Coast time, okay? We are closing the doors to the organizer club. You will not be able to sign up after we close the doors at this super low price of $97, okay? Whenever I open up a course or a new club, we always offer it at the lowest price it's ever going to be to those students who get in at the beginning, right? The first time that I offered it. So when we reopen the club, it will be probably in October after we work our way through all the projects. We're going to go, I think, all the way through the end of September, okay? So once everybody who's joining the club in now, we go through all the video lessons, the video courses for the projects. I do my live question and answer sessions for all of them. Once we're done covering all the material in the new organizer club, then we'll reopen it. So if you sign up when we reopen it, probably in October of 2024, right? Later this year, it's going to be $185. And up until tonight at midnight, it's $97. So you're getting $88 off the price, and you get to join in live, which means that those live question and answer sessions, when you submit your questions to me, we're going to do one live Q&A per project, okay? I'm going to answer those questions live in real time with y'all. And if you can't tune into the live sessions, don't worry. We record everything, and you can watch the replay in the club as well. So you're not going to miss out on any of that. But if you're a student that's going to sign up later in the year and you want to sign up, like I said, the price is going to be $88 higher, so it'll be $185. You won't get the bonus of the fabric envelope folder. Can we go ahead and show that picture so you can see what project it is? This is a bonus video course that we've added in. So aside from the 5 projects, you also get the video course and PDF on how to make my fabric envelope folders. You can see that was Tammy's picture. She made 5. I think she said her sister wanted 5 of them, so she whipped those up with for her. I love that fabric on the top right. Does anybody recognize it from my first fabric collection? Super cute. Great job, Tammy. I actually posted that picture in my email newsletter that I sent out today so that y'all can check out those. And I think I included a picture from Heather, who made one, and Jackie's pictures. I included a couple. But these are students who signed up already, logged into the class, watched the videos, they had the supplies on hand, and they went ahead and whipped it up already. So before we even start the organizers, they went ahead and cranked those out. So I thought that was awesome, awesome. What else was I saying? So the price when we reopen is going to be $185. You won't get that bonus video course, okay? And the live question and answer sessions, you're not going to get them live. You're just going to be watching the replays that we are about to film live, right? With the students that are currently enrolled. So if you want to jump on in, stick around. I'm going to show you all 5 projects. Those of you that are already signed up, let us know in the chat box so everybody else can see who they're going to be taking the classes with and chatting with when we get to those live Q&As, okay? Let's see. Let me pop up here first and make sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, Jamie says, I'm so excited for this new club. I signed up right away. Awesome, Jamie. I can't wait to see the cute fabrics that you choose for your projects. You always have cute stuff. Let's see. Yes. Oh, hi, Cheryl. She says, greetings from Central Indiana. I'm enjoying your programs. Although I've been sewing and quilting for a long time, it seems there's always some new little trick to learn. I love that. I try to, break things down. And that's the cool thing about sewing and quilting and crafts in general, right? Even crochet and knitting. There's a million different ways to get the same result or the same type of skill or technique that you're trying to do. And so I try to break it down in a few different ways or offer variations to things where maybe you've been doing your binding this one certain way, and then I show you something else and you're like, oh my gosh, now it makes sense. This is so much easier for me. It clicks easier for me. So I love that. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, we got a bunch of students who are already signed up tuning into this live. That's awesome. Hi, Jackie. She says, I'm in. Laura says, I'm all signed up. Lenny says, I'm signed up, so excited. Windless Originals is signing up tonight. Awesome. Lori says I signed up. So does JC Louie. Claudia's already signed up. Y'all, we're gonna have a blast in there. There's so many of you. Clarice says I'm signed up. Anita says I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And Josie says she's all signed up and can't wait. Awesome. I cannot wait. When everybody's making the same projects and everybody chooses such different fabrics, that's like my favorite part, because you'll start to see some fabric combinations that maybe you would have never put together. And then you see it in the Facebook group, or we post it somewhere and people are like, oh my gosh, I would have never thought to put that together. And it looks super cute. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. Samantha says, I can't read what that says. Gail says, I'm signed up. Della's signing up tonight. Josie's all signed up. Heather says, of course, I'm in. And Nancy says she's signed up. So is Mary. She says, I'm on board. Oh my gosh, we're going to have a blast. So let's get to, real quick, those of you that are signing up or that you are already signed up, you get access to that bonus course for the fabric envelope folders immediately. Remember that it is added to your student account as a separate course. So don't look for it in the organizer club, just look for fabric envelope folder, okay? It's automatically added as soon as you pay the $97 to sign up for the club. That also gets added to your individual courses, okay? So that's that. The first project, and let's get into that. The first project, you can go ahead and switch them over to my over-the-shoulder camera shot. The first project in the Organizer Club, we typically start with the easiest one first, okay? Is going to be my little easy storage pods. This is the small, this guy is the large. They don't look that different, but they are different in size. I will say, and I'm going to kind of give y'all a couple of little pointers because I know a bunch of you that are on here are already signed up, ready to go. Celia says, I signed up last week. Hi, Deborah. Thanks for tuning in. And Janice says, I signed up the first night from DeSoto, Texas. Awesome. So this one does use a PDF template, okay, to give us the shape that we're getting here, okay? However, I know sometimes we run into issues where people don't have a printer, they can't print it out. Both of the templates for the small and large are on one sheet. So I'm going to give y'all a little tip. If you don't want to print it, you can actually trace it off of your computer screen. So all you need to do is when you open up the PDF, make sure, and I'll grab a sample one here. Here's the one for the large, okay? Make sure that the square, the scale square that we include in the template measures exactly 1 inch on your computer screen, and then you know that the whole thing will be the right size, and then you can just trace it off. And that way if you don't have a printer, you don't have to wait to be able to make it. Does that make sense? So you'll have 2 templates like this. This is for the large and one for the small, and you could trace it off your computer screen, just like on a little piece of paper, it don't matter, right? Just so you have them stashed away. What I do recommend is if you're not printing it, just make sure that you write and label it. This is the large, Crafty Gemini, easy storage pods, so you remember, what that little chunk of paper is for, okay? All right. Okay, now that's that. The class, okay, the video lessons for this project, the first organizer, are going to be posted. Remember to check your calendar on Friday. This Friday, July 26, 2024 at noon, all the video lessons and the PDFs, both the PDF template sheet and the PDF written instructions, will be posted to your student account. So if you're joining in today, you have a couple days, you can grab your fabric and your materials. Don't freak out if you don't have everything by the time that the videos are posted, because we're not going to have the live question and answer session for 8 days after. So you have all of next week also to get your supplies, watch the videos, cut it out, maybe make one, submit any questions that you have to me ahead of time, because then the following week, right, I'll be answering the questions live for you so that we can, help you out, troubleshoot any issues that you're having so that you can then continue to make more of them. What I am going to say is if this is your first time doing anything like this, I know I have students who know how to sew a little bit and they're thinking maybe these projects are way out of my league. If you're kind of one of those and you're like, maybe I might be able to make them or I might be struggling. I always recommend you start off with the bigger one, okay? The smaller the project, the trickier it's going to be to just manipulate the fabric layers, and especially when we get to binding, we have a small circumference here. Although the fold over elastic that we're using stretches, it's pretty simple to put on. Even if you're off by a little bit, you're still going to be fine because we're using a zigzag stitch, okay? It's still going to be easier for you to go the first time through making the bigger one. All right. So what I would recommend is maybe cut out, once you get the PDF on Friday, once it's posted, maybe cut out the fabrics that you need, maybe like 2 for the large and 1 for the small or something like that. And that way, as you watch the video lessons and you make one, start off with the big one. And then once you have the big one down, then you can move on to the smaller one. Okay. But I'm telling you, you're going to crank out a bunch of them. Now, here are a few more. These 3 are all the small one, and this one is the bigger one. Okay. The large. Let me make sure I'm not missing nothing. Okay. So one thing I wanted to show here on the first one, this is the easy storage pods. You can use them for a bunch of different supplies, okay? I went ahead and made one for y'all because I always get these questions, and I'm trying to encourage y'all to use stuff from your stash. If you're a quilter or a bag maker, you have this kind of stuff usually. We have fabric for sure. And then the different interfacings, you can work with different types of interfacings to still get a same or similar shape and stiffness to the project, okay? Of course, when we do change up the interfacing, we have to think about what is this other interfacing that we're trying to replace, the original one the designer called for, what is it going to change in terms of the seam allowance? Is it going to make the seams bulkier? Are there a lot of intersecting seams that now we're going to have to fuss with our machine to get it to go through the thicker bulk? We talk about these kinds of things in the video course. So this one here was made with Bozo Light fusible batting. Y'all know I love this stuff, and of course, I still want to show y'all that even though it's a light fusible batting, the smaller one, and the big one too, they stand up on their own. The big one was also made with the light fusible batting. I made this one here. This is a small, but I made it with the foam, Bozo Inner Form, the sew-in, okay? So I just went ahead and quilted the exterior fabric to the foam. And then the inside lining doesn't have anything to it. So again, it is stiffer. It ends up actually having a smaller space on the inside, okay? Just because the foam is bulkier, it's chunkier, everything takes up a little bit more. I had to really kind of smooth out the lining, and I ended up cutting away a lot of the lining at the top, even though I did use my regular lining trick that y'all know if you're in my bag courses and clubs. We always go bigger on the seam allowance that we use in the lining so that it eats up more fabric. So because I used a puffier interfacing here instead of a light fusible batting, I used foam stabilizer. I needed to eat up more of the lining so that it could sit nicer on the inside. Does that make sense? So if you're using something thin for the stabilizer that's going fused or stitched or quilted to the exterior, the lining, you don't have to eat up that much in terms of seam allowance or potentially trimming more away because it's thinner all throughout and the lining can sit in there nicer, okay? But if you go thicker on the stabilizer, the lining ends up kind of like pooling on the inside a little bit more, so you may need to trim some away. So just wanted to show you could do it in the light fusible batting, you can do it in the foam. And so these are kind of on 2 different ends or opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of thickness for fusible and non-fusible products. So you could also, just seeing how these turned out with light fusible batting and foam stabilizer, I would say you could also use a double-sided fusible fleece. You could use like a duet fuse, which is kind of a thicker, loftier double-sided fusible fleece. You could use a quilt batting, okay, and just quilt the exterior to it if it's a non-fusible product. So this is going to be a great one, y'all, to use up fabric and your interfacing scraps, stabilizers, little foam chunks. You can do that, okay? Let's see. So Sue's asking about the correct link for the elastic. So let me give y'all a quick tip here. We were talking about this the other night on the live. The link that we put for the fold over elastic, because for this project and for the 5th one, okay, my Clearview roll-up organizer, both of these projects, number 1 and number 5 in the club, feature fold over elastic. I recommend that you buy 20 millimeter, or it's the same as 3/4 inch wide fold over elastic. Now fold over elastic comes 3/8 inch wide, 5/8 inch wide. Don't do it. Okay, 3/4 of an inch at least. If you can find 1 inch wide, that would be fine too. The wider it is, the easier it's going to be to cover on one side and cover on the other. You don't want to have it be too narrow because then you run the risk of having more fold over elastic on one side and then potentially not catching it on the inside, or running the risk of having some like raw edge popping out, and it's just going to be a mess. You're not going to be happy with it. So 20 millimeter or 3/4 inch wide fold over elastic. Now, the link that we put, because you get to download a master supply list, the link in the master supply list here for 3/4 inch wide fold over elastic that we put to Amazon, y'all sold them out. The first time I posted it, it got sold out. And because that seller sells a variety of different widths, that one was gone. So when you were clicking on it, it's just taking you to the other options that they have. So that's why I put 3/4 of an inch wide. Make sure that whatever link you're clicking on, or if you're doing your own search or buying it from somebody else, make sure it is 3/4 inch wide. Okay, fold over elastic, or 20 millimeters if it says that too. So I changed the link yesterday and found another seller that was selling 3/4 inch wide. And when we checked it this morning, it was sold out too. So if it's not sending you to the right place, or you're getting a blank page, it's because it's already sold out. So just do another little search there on Amazon. You could just, once you click the link, just type in 3/4 inch wide elastic. Now, let me give you the lengths, just so you know, and you have in mind, thinking about how many of these storage pods you're going to make. With 1 yard, and the reason I'm giving you a little bit of yardage here is if you're not going to buy an assorted bundle, some sellers will sell it by 1 yard cuts, some will sell it in 2 yard cuts, okay? So 1 yard of the 3/4 inch wide fold over elastic is enough for you to make a small and a large, too small or too large. Okay, so 1 yard is enough fold over elastic for you to make both. So now then you can decide, how many yards you want to buy. Do you want to buy 5 yards total and just 1 yard of 5 different colors? It's up to you. But just know that with 1 yard, you can make both. Okay? Now, of course, that doesn't include this guy. You're going to need more yardage for this. Okay? But let me see. Joy's saying, got here late. Hopefully there's a replay. You can always re-click on these WIP Wednesday replays the same way you're watching it now. Once it's over, just drag that little bar all the way to the beginning and it'll start replaying for you from the start. Okay? Nancy says, OMG, I didn't know fold over elastic was a thing. I've run amok and bought a bunch of it on Etsy. Oh, it absolutely is. I've been using fold over elastic since my almost 15-year-old, my son will be 15 next month, was wearing cloth diapers. I use fold over elastic. So almost 15 years. All right. Let's see. Okay, good. Winless Original says, I've got lots of batting. I think most of us quilters do. And sometimes you wonder, like, what can I do with this one little chunk? You can make mug rugs, coasters, and things like that. But this is going to be a great place for you to use up those scraps too. And you can practice your free motion quilting because you can have some cute texture on the outside here, if you want to play around and do some quilting. And it'll also give it a little bit more shape. So if you're using a thinner, more lightweight quilt batting and you quilt it, you're going to add a little bit more rigidity to the outside, which you might want, right, for storage pods. That comes in handy. Okay. Hi, Shauna. She says, how do I sign up for the club? Sorry, I'm late. No worries. There is a link in the video description box if you're watching us on YouTube, which I see that you are. But we're going to go ahead and put in the sign up link in the chat box here on YouTube. So you'll see it pop up shortly. And that's how you sign up. You just go to my website and it says all the information there. It tells you what's all included in the club, and then you can just add it to your cart and check out. So remember that the price is $97 right now. It closes tonight. We will not let anybody join after it closes tonight at midnight, and then we will reopen the club, okay, in October of this year, but it will be at $185 when we do reopen it. So if you're trying to save money and you want to catch us live going through each project and doing the live question and answer sessions in real time with everybody that's in the club, then this is definitely your last shot to join. Okay. Winless Originals has a great question. What are your thoughts on using decorative stitches for quilting the first project? I think that's perfect, actually. If you want to play around, if you have a sewing machine that has like 385 decorative stitches, you can totally play around with those stitches and see how they stitch out. It'll give some good texture. And again, whenever we're adding more thread to the layers, it's always going to make it a little bit stiffer. So again, if you're using a lightweight batting, doing some decorative stitches might be super fun, okay? The only thing I would say is be careful, because if you're using, say, foam interfacing and you want to try the decorative stitches, sometimes those decorative stitches don't stitch out the way that they're supposed to because you've added so much more bulk, right? And they're really designed for you to do decorative stitching just through basic 2 layers of fabric, you know, like along the edge of a napkin or something like that. And so if you're using a batting, a fusible fleece, or foam stabilizer that's too thick, you'll want to test out the decorative stitch on a little scrap piece to see if the machine is still able to kind of feed dog forward, back, side to side, depending on what decorative stitch you selected. And if it does look like it's stitching correctly and you see that it's not getting messed up or the design is not getting distorted in any way, then you can definitely go for it. Okay. All right. Okay, next thing. So I said 1 yard is enough to make 1 of each or 2. Okay, you can do 2 large, it's still enough. I talked about recommending that you start with the large first if you're joining the organizer club. The video course will be up on Friday at noon, remember that. And then, oh, okay, so let's move on to project number 2. So that was number 1. I gave y'all some good info there to get y'all prepped and ready to go. Number 2 is the tidy tote. So this guy, I had some card making stuff in here because I filmed that little reel that I shared. Just to show you some of the stuff that you can put in here. I had someone ask me about another basket that I did years ago. So this one was a quilt as you go, like a scrappy quilt as you go basket that we did years ago. Bigger handles, it was made with foam. You can see I've been using this for ages. I don't know how many years. But these kind of storage baskets are always super popular because you can just throw whatever you want in there and take it to go. I just have my jump ropes and some like stretch bands and stuff like that, you know, some light workout stuff. And then I had used for this one, I didn't really have to cut the pieces because I was already using a 2.5-inch roll, some type of strip pack that I had from years ago. I'm looking at this collection and I'm thinking 2017, 2016, somebody out there probably knows. But yeah, ages ago. Anyways, this basket, somebody was asking me, how does it compare to the tidy tote? So you can see it's smaller. I mean, this tidy tote could fit in here completely. It's smaller, more compact. It has the outside panel pocket here with 4 different pockets along the front. It's shorter as well, but it also has more body. So isn't this interesting? When we're looking at different bag projects, we often think if we go with the foam stabilizer, it's usually going to give us the most body over like a batting or a fusible fleece, okay? But for this one, I used Bozel Duet Fuse, which is a double-sided fusible fleece. And you can see how much more body it gives in a more compact footprint, okay? And of course, the main thing here is, like I said, the pocket panel on the front, smaller, more compact size. The lining fits way nicer in here. Because this is big and open, it's just fabric. The fabric is not interfaced on the inside of this. I can tell. I mean, just by feeling it, the fabric is just floating on the inside. And then here we have the center partition, this panel that's nice and stiff. And we talked about this on the last live. I forget who asked me. I think it was Susan that had asked me, hey, I wanted to know if that middle panel is actually sewn in at the bottom or is it just sewn in at the sides? It is. It's sewn in on the sides and the bottom. Okay, so that's how it compares to the other scrappy quilt as you go basket that we did years and years ago. I can't even remember. Was it in a quilt club? Maybe it was in the quilt club. 10 years ago? I don't know. Ages ago. We basically shrunk it down, added the pocket panel, sturdied it up a little, and added that center partition. Okay? Yes, Windless Original says, I really like the divider. Me too. Me too. And so if you're wanting to make this as a set for yourself or start giving as gifts and things, look how cute with organizer number 1. You can fit these guys in here. Okay? If you're wanting to make like a little gift basket and put different little things, supplies, back to school, teacher things, students, you know, you can do school supplies, some fun different little thingies like that. Super cute. And then, like I said, 4 pockets here in the front, okay, with that pocket panel. So that's the second one. The third project is, I think it's this one. What is the order that I have them in? Let me grab my calendar. And so if you reference your calendar, it also tells you the days and the times when each one of the project video courses will be posted. So we said the first one's going to be posted this Friday. Organizer number 2 will be posted on Monday, the 5th. The third one, oh, I don't have the names on here, but it says organizer number 3. I want to say it is this one, the zip and slip. So this is the zip and slip organizer because it has a zip here and a slip pocket on the back. Okay, so this one is great for paper. Remember I said I designed it for 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, as well as A4, so you can fit this kind of stuff in here, notebooks, pencils, pens. Oop, I just spilled my water cup. Can you grab me a paper towel? It's not too much, just a little. That's okay. Luckily, everything right here is waterproof. So you could see, you could put your pens, pencils here for teachers, for a back to school gift, for students. Who did I see today, I think posted somewhere in the group that said that she is a baker. Thank you. I don't need that much. Here. That she's a baker and she has a small kitchen, so she was thinking of slipping in a recipe and hanging it from the knob on her cabinets to keep the recipe, you know, to have like a plastic thing in front of the recipe, because, you know, if you don't have that, the recipes get so splashed up and dirty and messed up and stained and all that. So she was saying, if I put the recipe in here and hang that, I was like, oh my gosh, how creative. What a great idea. So something like that, definitely doable. I put a composition book here on the back in the slip pocket. Really cute. You know, you can sort stuff out and you have that clear pocket in the front so you can see exactly what you put in there. Let's see. Oh, Joe says the divider is what hooked me on that tidy tote. Great. Oh, Jackie says it was the other basket was a bonus project in the 2019 bag club. Thank you. Look at you, Jackie. Awesome. Okay. Oh, MQ52 says, can you use Peltex in the divider? So that is actually a great option. You can absolutely use Peltex as a divider because the lining that it's getting sewn to is still separate from the exterior. So even if you have a sewing machine that cannot sew through all the bulk, Peltex you should still be fine to do. Okay, so that's actually a great choice. And if you did the Peltex, which is a Pellon product 72F, which is a double-sided fusible, you could just fuse it to both sides of this center panel before we sew it in. And that way you know that the fabric here won't peel off on it at all. Like kind of how mine is, because this was Bozal Duet Fuse. So it's a double-sided fusible fleece. And you can see that I can't really peel the fabric away from that center panel, which helps add to the stiffness of it, right? Okay, let's see. Joe from Reno says, is it Friday yet? Are you ready for your first organizer project? Don't worry, it'll be here before you know it. Okay, so the third one I said was the zip and slip organizer. We do have an order in already. It should be here soon. We ordered more of the By Annie's clear vinyl rolls, and so those will be in the shop shortly. As soon as we get them in stock, we'll list them for y'all. This is that 16 gauge vinyl. This is the exact vinyl that I'm using here that we usually have it in the shop. We just sold out. So we're restocking that. So if you're looking for, you know, a good vinyl, great quality vinyl, then just you can wait around for that, and we'll send an email out to all the organizer students that are signed up. Okay, that's 3. This is 4. So 4, that 6-zip fold-up organizer, I went ahead and stuffed it with a bunch of stuff, okay? I think we talked about this on Monday night. I put some knitting stuff in here. We were talking about how to organize these unruly, non-interchangeable circular needles, being able to throw them here. And I've seen so many organizers for these circular non-interchangeable needles. And by non-interchangeable, I mean that you cannot unscrew them from here to change out the tip to a different length of cord. That's what we do, right? So I might start off, if I'm starting a sweater from the neck down, I might start off with a shorter cord on the same tip. And then as I'm maybe building out the yoke or something, and then I need to get into like the bust and waist area, I might need a longer circular needle. And so usually I'll just change out the tip from my sets, because you get the tip separate from the cords. But there's some that you buy like this and you can't separate them. They just come this length for the tip and whatever the length is for the cord. And so these guys are so annoying to put away. I've seen things where people put like a hanging thing with little straps and snaps, and then like the cords are just hanging, dangling everywhere. Oh my gosh. I just throw them in a shoebox prior to making this. I just had them thrown in a box, and every time you open the box, they all like bling, spring out at you. So I need to figure out how I'm going to sort them. First, I need to see how many I have, what are the lengths of them, and then see how I want to really sort them out, either by needle size or by cord length. And then that way I'll probably end up using several for these, because I have a bunch of these needles in different sizes that are non-interchangeable, and they're kind of annoying. But tucked away like this, they don't bother me, right? And that way when you know you're going to pick it out, you can just open it up, take out the whole batch, pick the one you need, roll them back up, and hide them away again. And here we just had some more needles, like the cords with the stoppers on the end and stuff like that. We talked about being able to fold up a pattern, okay, and folding up the sheets and just sliding them in there. You could do that too. Let's see. Oh, Kay says, I'm ready to start my projects, but I can't access them on my account. I send an email to B. So the classes haven't started yet. Remember how my organizer clubs work. You got to download the calendar, and then you see exactly which day and time each video course is going to be posted. So if you sign up right now or you're already signed up, you have immediate access to the fabric envelope folders. You can go into in my individual courses and find fabric envelope folders, and you can start watching that lesson now. In terms of the 5 organizers that I'm showing y'all here, the first one is organizer project number 1, the easy storage pods, and that one is scheduled to go to be posted to your account on Friday, the 26th, okay? And when you log into the club, you'll see it. It says project number 1, easy storage pods, and it'll say videos will be posted here Friday, July 26th. Check back then. And then you just click on it and you'll see all the videos and the PDFs for you to download on each scheduled date and time, okay? So number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. The last one is going to be posted on September 16th, and that is this guy, the Clearview Roll-Up Organizer, okay? So this is probably my fave. I mean, it's the most intense. It's going to take you the longest to make, I think. Between this one and this one, maybe, in terms of amount of time, just because they have so many components, right? And so this one, again, great to use your fabric scraps because you don't need that huge of a piece, but you're going to be quilting it, and we are using foam stabilizer for this. If you are going to choose to go with something lighter weight, like a fusible fleece or something like that, I wouldn't go with something stiff like a Peltex though, because the whole point of this is to roll it up. So if you use a stabilizer that's really stiff, it's going to be tricky to get creases where you need it to fold if it's like a really stiff and rigid stabilizer. That's the cool thing about foam, is that you can bend it, fold it, make it curved, make it straight, whatever you want it to do. Especially if you have some stitching in that area, it'll take the shape because the stitching compresses the foam, okay? And so we have this one with the 3 different size pockets that holds a bunch. Again, all of these projects, the ones that have zippers, only 3 of them have zippers, and they all use craft zippers. Those of you that love to use zippers by the yard for your bags, you could use number 5 zippers. I was trying to do stuff here where, like, you know, people using up their scraps of fabric, scraps of stabilizers, interfacings, battings, and kind of using up their craft zippers, especially since a lot of us like to use those zippers by the yard or the number 5 zippers for fancier, bigger, more expensive bags. I thought this would be a good way for y'all to use up some, you know, simple craft zippers that come in those cheap bundles with a bunch of different colors. I think this just makes it look a lot more fun for whatever you plan to put in here, okay? So 3 pockets, it's quilted, and then the binding on this is the same as the easy storage pods. We are going to be using that fold over elastic, okay? And then fold over elastic is also used for the closure, all right? And I talked about this before, but this is the same closure, similar closure, with fold over elastic that I did on one of my iPad covers 10 years ago or something like that. I don't know, ages ago. Okay? All right, let's see. Say what? Okay. Okay, Kay, so we're going to check up on that for you. You just want to make sure that you're logging in with the right email address, because sometimes people end up having a couple different email addresses, so that might be an issue. But we'll have the customer service team just check that out for you to make sure it's there. Because once you sign up, it's automatically added. The bonus course and then the organizer club. It's under my individual courses is where y'all will see it, okay? So really simple to access. You just go to my website and log on. But if y'all are signing up for this new organizer club, check your email immediately after, because you automatically get an emailed receipt, and in that receipt it has all the information telling you where to go to log in, how to access the course, both for the club and for that bonus course that you got access to. So all of that information is right there, so you shouldn't, you know, be able to really get lost or anything. All the details are in that note you get in the emailed receipt or the confirmation. Okay, Deborah's asking, do I need a Teflon foot to sew the vinyl? So I will say it's going to depend on your sewing machine. Some sewing machines don't really allow you to easily stitch through the vinyl. I made all of these, and that's kind of how I like to do my prototypes and stuff, is test them out on the Juki LB5020, which is a basic home sewing machine that's not even a full-size machine. So usually I'm like, okay, if this machine can get through it, anybody with a basic home sewing machine can make these projects. Now, not all machines, and that, depends on how much pressure the machine itself likes to put down onto your fabric layers. If it has a hard chomp, meaning when you put that presser foot down, if your machine has a really good bite on the fabric layers and you don't have a knob at the top where you can lessen that tension, that pressure, the presser foot pressure, I should say, not tension, but the presser foot pressure, if you can't loosen it, then you're kind of stuck, because then that's how the machine sews. And so for some machines, they're just not going to do well with thicker layers. And so if you're using a thicker vinyl or you're sewing vinyl to multiple layers, it can get stuck to the bottom of that presser foot. So if you've tried it before in the past, you probably have a little bit of experience with it. If you know your machine doesn't like it, then yes, I would say use a Teflon foot. But there are a couple other ways that you can stitch right through it without using a Teflon foot. For example, I have a video on YouTube for sure. 6 tips or 7 tips. It's something like that. It's like some tips on how to sew with clear vinyl. So if y'all want to check that out, go to youtube.com, type in Crafty Gemini clear vinyl, and that video will pop up, and I share with you there several different little tips so that you have an easier, more successful time sewing through clear vinyl. You could put tape on the bottom of your presser foot. You can put some gift wrapping tissue paper over top of the vinyl if you're sewing with the vinyl side up facing the foot. You could also sew with, if you can, depending on the construction step and design of the project, sew with the vinyl side down. But again, that can run into issues if, again, the chomp of the machine is too tight, because then the vinyl is against the feed dogs, and sometimes it kind of messes with your vinyl and you end up looking, you see like scraping or scratching on it. Or if you use a super thin, lightweight vinyl, then it can even stretch and distort it. So there's a lot of stuff. There are a lot of factors, y'all, that go into these things. And that's why I like to do these videos too, because it's like, you could buy a pattern, read a pattern, and try your hand at it. And if you don't have successful results, you're going to think it was you. But it could be so many different little factors in there that could be contributing, to why you didn't have successful results. It could be your presser foot, the presser foot pressure, the needle that you used, the thread you were using, the interfacing that you replaced because you didn't have the one that the pattern called for. So all the stuff that patterns don't explain to you, that's what we do in these classes, right? I walk you through step by step. I'm telling you, hey, look out for this. Anticipate this. This doesn't make no sense, but trust the process. Keep going. Believe me, because I've been teaching for so long, I'm pretty good at anticipating what issues my beginner students are going to run into. So I try to catch them up front, or tell you, hey, this part here, try to make it as precise as you can, because this is really going to affect you, 4 steps down the line. Then you're going to be like, oh yeah, I should have listened to her back in step 2. Because now it's step 11, I'm struggling. So I try to cover all of that. So when I say I'm teaching you step by step in these video courses in my clubs, it's step by step. Okay, you can see by how many people already said that they've joined. These are people that have been taking my classes in my clubs for years, some of them over a decade. So that's how we do it, step by step, like for real, for real. Okay. Oh yeah, Heather says, I'm going to have to borrow a machine from my daughter for the zigzag. She says her Juki is amazing, but it does not have that. What you got, the TL2010Q? Speaking of straight stitch Jukis, I was gifted an industrial Juki back here, y'all, and I just finished pouring an entire jug of oil and getting it going. That thing's so fast. It's the DDL 8700. If anybody has it, let me know. I'm looking up some more videos and some more stuff so I can get better acquainted with the beast of that machine. Okay. All right. Yes, Della says Scotch tape on the bottom of the presser foot will help sewing in vinyl. Absolutely. Yep. All right. Let's see. What else did I have here that I wanted to mention? Oh, guys, I have a haul to share. My husband and son were in South Carolina last weekend, and do you know, he went to a quilt shop for me. I was like, I know they were looking at y'all crazy when you walked in. They're like, can we help y'all? What are you guys doing in here? So he bought me some fabric. So the fabric store is called 5/8 Seams. 5/8 Seams. The website is 5/8 Seam, or 5/8 Seams. Like when you're sewing garments, 5/8 of an inch seam, right? So 5/8seams.com, and it is in Charleston. Is that where it was? Charleston, South Carolina. And so he got me some fabric. Look how cute. So I got 2 yards of each. This is, look how cute, these rainbows with the little sun. Um, this is called Unicorn Dreams by Teresa Chan for Paintbrush Studio Fabrics. I love me some good Paintbrush Studios. So cute. And 2 yards is a lot. I was like, 2 yards? Quilters don't buy 2 yards unless we're cutting for backing. I mean, I don't at least. I'd be doing like 1 yard, 1.5 yards, and then I just mix and match them. But 2 yards is a lot. I got good yardage here. And then this other print, look at these cute little baby woodland creatures. It's like a rabbit, a deer, a fox, a porcupine, elephant, rabbits, owls. So cute. And this one is by Riley Blake Designs. It's called It's a Girl by Echo Park Paper Company. I might use this in that quilt that I need to make pastel colors for a little girl. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just use it for something for me. We'll see. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. So if anybody lives near Charleston, South Carolina, or you're going to be by there, check out 5/8 Seams. He says it was a nice big shop. They had a whole classroom area and everything in there. So cute. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Oh, awesome. That's nice of you, Kay. She says, I've been learning from you for 8 years. I can't believe how much you've taught me, and I've been sewing for 60 years. That's awesome. Great. Linda says she joined the club yesterday. Let's see. Okay, awesome. Oh, yeah, so Heather says that's the one, the TL 2010Q for sure. Okay. All right, so that was that. Oh, and then I was just going to tell y'all next week, I'm going to share with you a craft project that I'm doing tomorrow. You can put them on my face now. So that's that. The link is in the description box below. This is the last call for the Organizer Club 2nd edition, y'all. Join us if you want to. Don't join us if you don't want to. We are getting started. The bonus course is available immediately, and then Friday we're starting on project number 1, okay? Tomorrow I'm teaching my monthly craft class that I do with senior citizens in my little town, and I'm doing something with Tote. I'm gonna take some different fabrics. We'll see how it works. So I'll take pictures and video, and next week hopefully I'll be able to show y'all how that turned out. So maybe some of y'all want to try that project, but I'm gonna take a bunch of fabric scraps and wooden coasters and Coat so that they can embellish the top of the coaster, similar to what we talked about here. And I know I did the little video reel on how I covered my wooden table for my circular sock cranking machine. Remember that we did this on a demo where I took my wooden pattern weights and I did Coat and put just some fabric on the top of it. So this is the same idea that I'm going to do with them, but for wooden coasters. So I'm excited to try it, and I think they're gonna have a good time. You know how it is when you have a bin of fabric and you're picking through. You're like, ooh, I like this. Ooh, there's nothing better than digging through pretty fabric. So I think they're gonna have a good time with that, and they'll get to go home with a couple of coasters each. And I'll let you know how it goes with Coat. That's what I'm gonna use. I was gonna do Mod Podge, but I just feel more comfortable with the Coat. I know that it's more, at least how I've used it, more waterproof and sturdier. So we're gonna give that a go and see how it turns out. Okay, but other than that, that's going to be it for today. If you have any other last minute questions, you can email me, but tonight at midnight, we're closing the doors. $97, okay? And when we reopen it, it's going to be $185, so it's up to you. And I can't wait to see those of you that have joined the Organizer Club, your finished projects. Make sure that if you are on Facebook, you can join the optional Facebook group, and you get the links to all that in the club. It's already in there on the welcome page, and that way we can see, the fabrics that you chose and the projects that you end up making with us here in the new Organizer Club. So thanks again, everybody. Thanks for your great question. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.